Hi everyone, I'm Jimaku Brimstone and welcome to the review of From Zero, the 8th studio record by the band Linkin Park. I got an early access to this album, so I've spent the last couple of days listening to it, and I had to make this review because I've been a massive fan of this band for years. I first started listening to them back in the year 2000 on the release date of Hybrid Theory because my sister brought it home. I was free at the time and it's probably my first memory ever. I just remember her placing the CD in the CD player and we've listened through the entire thing, When I first heard Paper Cut, I was like, this is amazing. And then we would listen to that record and also Limp Bizkit Hot Dog album almost every single day. Those were the good old times. Then 3 years later, in 2003, she got Meteor and we've also listened to it on the release date and it was just as good as the first record. I've actually reviewed Meteora and all of the bonus songs from that era, so go check those reviews out. Then later in 2007, Minutes to Midnight was released. At that time I did not have the internet, so the only songs I've heard were Given Up and Bleeded Out because they had music videos and they would play on Viva. That was like a TV station, with music. When I finally got the internet in 2008, I listened through the entire Minutes to Midnight record and I was very disappointed because I've only enjoyed 4 or 5 songs. The rest of the record was very boring and uninspired, generic rock music. So yeah, I wasn't happy. Then in 2010, 1,000 Suns came out and I remember that I've cried when I first heard it because it was so bad. To this day I cannot stand that album. I've tried listening to it 50 times and it's so hard to get through. It has 2 interludes at the beginning and half of the songs sound like generic pop music. It's garbage, it's disgraceful. Then Living Things came out and yeah, it was almost on the same level as the Suns record. And finally in 2014 The Hunting Party was released, which I've just reviewed a couple of days ago, so go check that review. To put it shortly, I did enjoy The Hunting Party. To me it's the third real Linkin Park record. I will just always ignore Minutes to Midnight and all of that stuff. The Hunting Party was great. Then One More Light came out. I did not enjoy it. Once again, awful music. The only thing that was fun was Chester's voice. His vocals were always on point, but everything else just sucked ass. Then, as we all know, Chester sadly passed away, rest in peace. The band stopped playing and this year in 2024 they've announced a reunion with a new vocalist. We have the classic lineup of Mike Shinoda on the vocals, keyboards, rhythm guitar, sample production, Brad Delson on the guitar and co-production, Dave Farr on the bass, Mr. Han on the turntable, samples, programming, and 2 new members, Emily Armstrong, a Scientologist and a weird person on the vocals, she's replacing Chester, and Colin Britton, the new drummer because the previous one, Rob, who played on all of the records, basically left the band. And also the cover art, well, it looks okay. It's fine. The promotion for this record was quite surprising. At first, Jay Gordon of Orgy stated that the band is coming back with a female singer. I don't think this was planned, he's probably a blabbermouth and he wasn't supposed to say all of that. Then the band started a 100-hour countdown to something, and when the countdown reached 0, it started going, forward, 01, 02, 03. So it was from 0, and then finally they played live on September 5, played the new song, The Emptiness Machine, and showcased the new vocalist, Emily Armstrong. So yeah, that's basically the whole story. Then they've released the second single, Heavy as the Crown, which became a main theme for the League of Legends video game. I'm sorry, I don't play that shit, I have dignity. And then they've released the third single, Over Each Other, which was more laid back, more mellow. As you can see here, most of the songs were written with help of some producers. Producers mostly make the songs sound more generic, more popish, but we have some songs, 3 songs on the entire record that was written just by the band themselves. The production handled by Mike and Brad is tight, it's clean but heavy, no loudness or no clipping, just the way I like it. I love the clarity it has, the punchiness to it. The drums, the guitars, the bass, the vocals, they're all mixed perfectly. Message is diverse. The songs are mostly about personal struggles, relationship issues. Same old, the same stuff the band always talks about. They like to keep things vague and more streamlined so everyone can basically relate to these songs. In my case, my favorite lyrics on this record are on the songs Two-Faced, Casualty, I Gave You Everything I Have, and Good Things Go. Structure of the tracks is basic, standard intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus, outro. Sometimes it slightly deviates from that stuff. When it comes to the music genres on this record, it's like a mix of the old nu metal stuff from the first two records with more alternative rock, pop rock sensibilities of the latest albums. Nothing new, nothing groundbreaking for the band. It's like a mix of everything they've done previously. Now let's talk about the performance on this record. Let's start with the drums. The drummer is tight, he has groove, he has style, he has precision to his playing. It's all fine. I am not sure if he's better than the previous drummer or not. I would still prefer the original guy. Next we've got the bass work. It's audible, it mostly follows the guitars. We have some moments here and there where it deviates from that stuff, but there aren't many of them. Next we get Mr. Han and his electronic elements, which are present here. I am actually surprised by how much he uses turntables on this record. They are like on 2 or 3 of the songs. This is something that I've never thought would happen again to Linkin Park. Over the years, his turntables, the DJ stuff, would like vanish in favor of a more electronic, positive pop, melodies and such, keyboard elements, that stuff. So it's nice to have that edge back, even on a couple of songs. Next, let's talk about the guitar work, which is split between Mike Shinoda and Brad, the main guitarist. Brad is killing it. His guitar work, especially on songs like Casualty, Two-Faced, and I Gave You Everything I Have, is fabulous, it's beautiful. Some of the other songs don't have that much guitar work, or it's just buried in the background. I wish there were more guitars on this record overall, but again, that's just me. And finally, let's talk about the vocal performance, the most polarizing aspect of this record and of this band at the moment. Let's start with Mike Shinoda. His rapping is on point. It sounds just as good as 20 years ago. I love it, the rapping is nice. Sadly, he also sings on this record, and while some of his singing is very nice, most of it sounds like he's using a lot of autotune or some effects, and it sounds robotic and like insincere. Especially in the songs like Cut the Bridge. I know that this dude is a founding member, but do you remember how he sang Breaking the Habit demo? It was great, right? Like, you've got a new singer, just let her sing. Now let's talk about Emily. Many people don't like her because she's a Scientologist, or because she's a woman, or whatever. To me, I don't care about those things. Like, sure, she might be a bad person. Let's just talk about the music and her performance, right? So, her screaming is good. I do enjoy it. It's, of course, not on the same level as Chester's. That was to be expected, to be honest. The singing, on the other hand, is a hit or miss. On some of the songs, like for example, Overflow or I Gave You Everything I Have, her singing is on point. I love it. On other tracks, it sounds so weak and just pathetic, like on Over Each Other. I was like, please just let it end. I feel like Linkin Park could have chosen a better vocalist for the job, but what's done is done, it happened, it's here. I do enjoy the screaming, some of the singing. There is passion beneath that, there's some emotional resonance within. Now let's rate individual songs. The album opens up with the intro from Zero, and we've got some choir at the beginning, some voices like that. And then Emily is like, why is the album called From Zero? Because we start from nothing? And at the end she's like, oh no, wait, it's because, and the song cuts off. Well, it's because the first band name for Linkin Park was Zero, with an X, and basically that's like an reference to that. Because when Zero was formed and they've had an EP with 4 songs and then some other tracks, There was no Chester in the band, there was this dude, Mark Wakefield I think. His singing was actually quite nice. I'm actually quite surprised that they've decided not to let him become the vocalist now. Instead they chose Emily, that's weird to me. So yeah, From Zero, it's just an interlude, no music, it's nothing special. It's a nice Easter egg, I feel, because you know, From Zero, like the band name, Zero, right? And that's all. It's not music, it's just here. It's only 20 seconds long, so it doesn't bother me. I don't care for it. 5 out of 10. The first real song here, The Emptiness Machine, and also the first single. This one has that slight Minutes to Midnight vibe. It reminds me of What I've Done. Just slightly. I do enjoy the intro, how basically Mike Shinoda comes with his rapping and vocals. His singing here is actually quite nice, I do enjoy it. Then after a while the song shifts, you know, to that you know, with the guitars and the drums, and then Emily comes up with her voice. I've only wanted to be a part or something like that. It's okay, I do enjoy this song, it's a great one, nothing special. There are going to be better songs on the record, also some worse ones, but this one was a good single. It has those vibes of Linkin Park, it reminds you of the band, so of course you're going to be happy while listening to it. 8 out of 10. Cut the Bridge. This is actually one of the highlights on the record for me. This song slightly reminds me of the band Enter Shikari. It has that vibe in the chorus. Cut the bridge. The melody, the guitar riff, the vocals, yeah, it has that classic Enter Shikari vibe to it. I wonder if the band was listening to Enter Shikari while working on this record, because it seems like that. I do enjoy the verses here, I love the chorus so much, the intro is fine. The only thing I don't like here is the bridge because of Mike Shinoda's vocals. He has so much autotune and effects on it. I just noticed the song title, Cut the Bridge. Like, that's what they should have done. Cut the bridge from the song. Remove the bridge and the song is going to be great. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Heavy is the Faint, I mean Heavy is the Crown, the second single with a music video. This one has those Meteora vibes to them. I do enjoy this song, but I feel like this song is weaker than the first single. I love the bridge. This is what you asked for. That scream is almost as long as the scream in Given Up. I feel like it's just shorter by 2 seconds, you know, as a tribute to Chester to not make it longer. Like, he's the the MVP of the band. So yeah, this song is quite nice, but it's a little bit generic. The verses are okay. The pre-chorus, I don't like it. The overall vibe, electronic wise, you know, the keyboard of that sounds very cheap, you know, and like generic, but I do enjoy this song. It's nothing special, but it does its job. 7 out of 10. Over Each Other, the third single with a music video. This is the weakest song on the album by far. It's just some generic rock music without any meaning or emotions behind it. The vocals aren't that great, they are mediocre at best. I do enjoy the chorus, that's the only saving grace of this song. It's why I feel that it's average, because the verses, the intro, the bridge does nothing to me. The chorus is just fine, so yeah, 5 out of 10. Casualty, yeah, we're so back fam. We've got a heavy song on a new Linkin Park record. This track is a banger. I love the instrumental work, the heaviness, how much emphasis there is on the guitars. The vocals slap, the singing, the screaming, the shouting, the yelling. Mr. Han is even here to do that chicka chicka wow melody in the background. I love it, I just love it. 10 out of 10. Overflow is probably the biggest experiment on this record, and for me it's the second best track here. I love its emotional impact, the melodies, the atmosphere. It's like you're drowning underwater, but not dying. It feels like that. I love it. I love the vocals here. Mike and Emily sound perfect. This song slightly reminds me of Enter Shikari again, mixed with a little bit of Papa Roach's Who Do You Trust record from 2019. Not many people are probably going to enjoy this one because it's not nu metal, it's like more introspective, but I love the vibe, I love the atmosphere, and yeah, this is going to be one of the more underrated songs on the record, I feel like, by the fan base. Also, I don't know how many people will notice that at the end of Overflow there's a Fuse sample. You know, Fuse is playing for a second. Fuse is a song by Zero from 1997. It's the only track who was not featured on the Hybrid Theory 20th Anniversary Edition, which still bothers me to this day, because Fuse and Part of Me 1999 demo are missing from that compilation. Part of Me 1990 demo version with the screaming instead of awful singing is one of the best Linkin Park songs, period. Fuse is top 25 Linkin Park songs by far. I love Fuse, and the fact that it's not on the Anniversary Edition just blows my mind, because they've wanted to place all of the B-sides there. They've placed like so many live versions of the songs we already know, instead of putting Fuse and Part of Me 99 demo. What are you doing here? And now, after all those years, you put a Fuse sample at the end of the song? Like to spite me, to annoy me that, hey, Jim, look, Fuse is not on the Anniversary Edition. Remember Fuse? I am not happy at all that song was omitted from the Anniversary Edition, but it's quite nice to hear a sample from it on a new record. Like, they remember, guys. They remember. So Overflow, 11 out of 10. Two-Faced, hands down, the best song on the album. The only one that sounds like true Linkin Park, and the only track that could have been a B-side to Hybrid Theory. It has that vibe to it. I love Mr. Han's scratches, the atmosphere of this song, the build-up at the beginning, then that main guitar of the rapping is like fire. It has so much intensity, and the chorus slaps, and then the bridge happens, and the bridge is so angry, so heavy. The breakdown is actually quite similar to Figure 09 demo version from 2002. Go check it out, like, compare them. They're very similar, not the same, but they follow the same patterns. Two-Faced, banger. I wish the entire record would sound like this song. I would cry tears of joy if that would happen. Of course, it will never happen, but Two-Faced, what a fantastic gift to the old school fans. 11 out of 10. Stained is much more poppy sounding. I love the chorus, and as I was listening to this song once again, I've just noticed that the chorus is actually influenced by Enter Shikari's song The Bull. Check out the chorus there, and then this one. They are very similar, yet again Enter Shikari vibes. I do enjoy this song. The vocals are great by Emily. I have nothing else to add. It's not special, it's not the best song here, because it's not metal at all. But it works. I do enjoy the chorus and the vibes. More modern, poppy sounding, but it's fine when it's done this way. 8 out of 10. I give you everything I have, the 10th song on the record. I love the intensity of the instrumental work, the guitar riffs, the drumming. Mike is fine, but Emily is shining on this song. Emily's best vocal performance is here at the end. It's so emotional. It's impactful. I love the vocals here. Like, great stuff. It's a classic song, 10 out of 10. The final track on the record, Good Things Go. Lyrically, it reminds me of Pushing from Hybrid Theory. It has that vibe to it. Musically, it's like a mix of alternative rock and modern pop, something along those lines. I love the final chorus here, the intensity with which Emily sings that part, but the first chorus does not grab me that much because she's just singing it rah rah rah. It's a great song, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it could have been better. I do enjoy Mike's vocal performance here, which is rare. So yeah, great song overall. Again, nothing special, but it works. 8 out of 10. To sum it all up, the consistency is various, the flow is fitting, replayability. Yeah, it's a great record. To me, this is the best album after Hybrid Theory, Meteora and The Hunting Party. Here I am, pleasantly surprised. The highlights on this record for me are Two-Faced because it's a nu metal banger, Casualty because it's heavy, Overflow because it's a good experimental song. I gave you everything I have because it's just a solid track from beginning to the end. Cut the Bridge, which has great chorus, and they should have cut the bridge because the bridge sucks in this song, everything else slaps. And also I guess I would choose The Emptiness Machine and Stained and Good Things Go as the highlights here. The worst song by far is Over Each Other. If it were up to me, I would remove Over Each Other I wouldn't keep the intro and maybe even remove Heavy is the Crown and just replace those songs with some B-sides that we haven't heard yet, but I'm sure they've worked on some heavier tracks. I would love to hear them. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Comment down below, what do you think about this album? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you love Emily's vocals? Or maybe you hate her and you don't want her in the band? What about Mike Shinoda? Have you noticed how much autotune and effects he uses on his singing on this record? And it annoys the hell out of me? Or maybe you're like, no, it's fine, I love modern music, I love when there are so many effects that everyone sounds like fucking robots. Like, okay, you can write down that in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Give this video a like, subscribe, and maybe support me on my Patreon, become a YouTube member, so I can make more reviews like this. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my other videos. Bye!